because when you guys were talking about race relations, I think that most people are very ignorant of the term of what race is and the difference between ethnicities and nationalities. And a lot of times black people are offended because we don't have a nationality. Let's be clear about that. You know, so when you are saying, oh, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, all you doing is you categorizing people. So I wrote down what I wanted to say. So I wanted to define race relations so that when we are speaking on this, everybody is, you know, enlightened on what that is and how to respond to that. And then maybe it'll spark something that quote unquote African American people or black people to get you a nationality and find out what your ethnicity is, because when you're filling out those papers and it say African American, that's a misnomer. How can you be from Africa and be from America when you was born here all your life? Have most of us never been to Africa, and we don't even know if we're gonna ever go there. So that's one thing that we struggle with as a community. And so relation is an existing connection, and those connections could be between people, countries, they could be sexual, and what a race is a competition between different nationalities and people socially for status. So when I was hearing you guys talk about race relations, the term is highly different for me. So I was expecting a different answer when you guys are talking about race relations, especially being an integrated school. So when my brother was speaking and he was saying it's only one race, it's the human race, I'm like, Ashe, I agree to that because it is one race. It shouldn't be multiple ethnicities and nationalities and people competing, because God created us all equal and he created us here to help one another. So the fact that quote unquote African American people have to look back and we have to make the word nigga, you know what I'm saying, positive or bad things, that one, I feel like America has forgotten their history. They forgot that we was once property. Even women, and it don't matter if you white or black, we wouldn't be sitting in these colleges because one, it was only for Caucasian males were being educated, and if they had the money to be educated. So at some point in time, we all was discriminated against. So I feel like the point of scholarly events like this is for us to have the conversation and define these terms and share a meaning. And this is something that I hope everybody take away from. Even when I seen the young lady right here, when my sister asked the question, how many people use the word nigga? She didn't raise her hand the second time. But she raised her hand the first time and was like, you use the word nigga. So that means that more people need to be conscious and aware of their actions. Because even us, we offended somebody. I see a lot of black people, and I say my own people are racist. We racist against ourselves. We racist against other people. But then when people are, you know, we have these things now, like just like the Colin Kaepernick thing. I think we all failed my brother. Because you have somebody who stood up for all of us, and what we do, we ain't stand behind that man. Now this man can't get a job. He can't get a contract. People arguing with him. You think any artist, a lot of people started standing behind him, but it wasn't because of the fact that he stood up for us. It was because of what Agent Orange said. Yeah, you know I ain't saying that man name. So I just want to make sure that this is my second time coming, and I just want to make sure that we have an understanding as one human race, define what race and relations is, and be able to have that conversation amongst each other with the level of what it is legally to be a race. And then as scholars, we have to know that we have the power as students to change. That's why we're in these institutions, to change the communication that's being had on a national level. That's what we're here for. So that was all I
wanted to say. We can't call her no bitch. Yes, queen.
All right, so here's what we gotta do, man. As usual, for the second time, I gotta do 2 more questions. I gotta let my man go, then I'm gonna let my man go here, and we gotta close it out. All right, go ahead.